want to see some blankets to try to keep you warm. Unless you stand on the ice, the better it is for your feet. Oh, this one? Even? You tell the kids about the link for Zoom is tell them. If you go to ChicagoJewishFemales.com, click on your grandfather's name, you have to join the Zoom. ChicagoJewishFemales.com. ChicagoJewishFemales.com. Click on Leonard Lasker's name, and you will see a link for the funeral. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to begin the service with Rabbi Yehuda Myers. We have the family be seated.
We are here this morning to mourn the passing of a precious neshama, a precious soul, Leib Eliyahu ben Moshe, Leonard Elijah Lasker, beloved husband of the late Adeline Lasker for more than 7 decades, cherished brother of Sid Lasker and Al Lasker, loving father of Gary and Ann, Brent and Liat, and Tzvi and Miriam, adored grandfather of Robin and Cameron, Yoel, Shira, David, Aaron, David, Aaron, Moshe, Elisheva, and Naomi, proud great-grandfather of Addison and Ellie. Fond uncle of many, Leonard will be dearly missed by his family and friends. We will begin today's service with a traditional chapter from Tehillim from Psalms. It can be found in English in the pamphlet. We will recite it in Hebrew first. Mizmor LaDavid, Adonai Roi Lo Echsar, Bino Steshi Arbitzeni Al Mei Menuchos Nahaleni, Nafshi Yeshovev, Yanchini B'Maglei Tzedek L'man Shemo, Gam Ki Elich B'Geit HaMaves Lo Yira Ki Atay Madi, Shiftecha Mishatecha Hem Yinachamuni, Taroch Lefanai Shalcha Neged Tzoroi, Dishanta B'Hashem En Roshi Kosi Rivaya, Ach Tov V'Ches Yerdifuni Kol Yimei Chayai, V'Shafti V'Beis Adonai L'Orach Yamim. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Anoint my head with oil, my cup runs over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. I never had the chance to get to know Leonard personally. Over the past few days, I've had the opportunity to speak with his family, and I've managed to catch a glimpse of his life, to see a refraction of who he was as a husband, a father, a grandfather, and a person. Leonard was born on August 11, 1925, and was raised in his beloved home city of Chicago. He attended Von Steuben High School, located in the city's north side. At the ripe young age of 24, Leonard got married to his sweetheart Adeline, and together they moved to the suburbs, Olympia Fields, to build a family together, raising their 3 sons, Gary, Brent, and Stephen Tzvi, before moving to Hazelcrest and eventually settling in Savannah later in life to be with Gary's family. I mentioned this at Adeline's funeral, that she and Leonard were blessed with being married for right around the average global life expectancy, more than 7 decades, over 71 years, building a beautiful family together. As we begin today's service, it's only fitting to call upon Leonard's family to share a few words. We begin with Robin.
Grandpa was one of a kind. He was one of the hardest working people I know. He worked into his 90s, and he instilled the value of education and hard work. He always put family first. A lot of my best childhood memories include Grandpa. I looked forward to staying at the condo and spending time with him and Grandma. Grandpa and I enjoyed miniature golf together. We also played board games like Monopoly. 5 years ago, Grandpa moved to Savannah. It was another special opportunity to spend time with him as an adult. Cameron and I had a lot of great times with him, from exploring the city, checking out new restaurants, listening to his jokes and stories, and just spending quality time together. A year and a half ago, he became a great grandfather, and then again 5 months ago. He lit up whenever he saw Addie and Ellie. He had an amazing life and a wonderful love story with Grandma. Cameron and I hope to raise our girls with the same drive, humor, and love that he shared with us.
Thank you, Robin. Tzvi, please come.
When a person comes to the end of their time and the Rebbeinu Shalom recaptures their soul, their neshama, 3 questions are asked before they go into the Beis Din Shemala. One is, did you set time to study Torah? Were you honest in your business? And did you wait for the Mashiach, the Messiah? My father was exemplary in the second aspect of being honest in business. Extremely honest. Very. He had a business of optometry. He was known as a very straight shooter amongst the customers that came into him. It was. He was unlike his competitors, where they would charge a very, very high markup price. He would always charge a much lower, very reasonable markup price for people to be able to afford it. And he was always very careful with his money. He was careful with his debts. He was a very loved individual. He's very respected, even in the business world. Because I remember at the close of Mode Optical, which was his primary place which he owned and worked, he did have a certain amount of debts that had to be paid to certain companies. And when he called up to make good on the debts after he sold the business, they all told him, forget it, we forgive you for your debts, you don't have to pay them. Because he was such a good fellow that when the salespeople would come around to sell their wares, he would never give them the tircha to have to come into the store from wherever they were and drive halfway across Chicago or wherever they were to meet him. He said, what do you have? What can I order? And he made it very easy for them. They really appreciated him because of that, because he saved them all this time during their trips. So they were very, very willing to be mochim on the debts. Then he continued to work as an optometrist until about age, I think, 94 or so. Maybe he could have entered into the world of Guinness Book of World Records of being the oldest optometrist that was practicing. But be as it may, he was always extremely honest in his business practices. Never took anything that was not his. He was always very gracious to all of his relatives and his wife and my mother's relatives. Anybody that came in that was part of the family, whether it was directly related or through marriage, they always received free optical care, free exams, free glasses, whatever they needed. It was basically always for free. Always was very generous in that regard. He was also the type of fellow that loved his fellow Jew. It was very important when we grew up that we knew who Jewish people were. That someone who was Jewish, that was considered extremely chashuv, extremely important. Didn't matter if they were religious, they weren't religious, they were from whatever walk of life. They were Jewish, that was it. Nothing else had to be said. So anyway, that's just part of some thoughts I had to share about his life. Lived to be a ripe old age of 98, which if you look at something called the Jewish Gematria, which is the numerology of the Hebrew letters, there's something called the 72 name of the Shem Meforish, which is an extremely holy name, which is 72. And then there's the Shem Havaya, which we customarily say, I'll say it a different way, but Adamoy, but it's usually not Moy, it's Noi. That's the gematria of that for the letters is 26. If you add 72, 26 is 98, which shows there's a very ripe and holy age of where he passed away. Certainly, he passed away either on Shabbos, we're not really sure, we're still investigating that, or possibly shortly after Shabbos. She also, just like my mother, she passed away on Shabbos, towards the end of Shabbos as well. Just showing that, I think there's something there, there's some type of connection, the fact that they both pass away towards the end of Shabbos, which is a very holy time. And we'll miss them.
Thank you, Robin and Stephen. We find ourselves in a moment of profound significance within the Jewish calendar, immersed in the parshios that recount the trials, travails, triumphs, struggles, and successes of one of the most pivotal figures in Jewish history, our forefather Yaakov Avinu, Jacob. Yaakov's journey was neither simple nor easy, yet through his unwavering perseverance, selfless dedication, and exemplary qualities, he earned the enduring distinction of becoming not only just a forefather, but the namesake of the Jewish people, B'nai Yisrael, Yisrael being the older name of Yaakov Avinu. While my personal acquaintance with Leonard was limited, I actually got to meet him at Adeline's funeral a few years ago. But in having conversations with his three sons, I have been able to come to see the beautiful, poignant portrait of their father, a man who genuinely and sincerely embodied the virtues of our patriarch Jacob in a variety of profound ways. Like Yaakov, Leonard exemplified perseverance, selfless dedication to family, and commitment to the future of the Jewish people, firmly establishing himself as the patriarch of his own family. Yaakov, throughout the many challenges he faced, never gave up and never gave in. Leonard, too, echoed that steadfast determination and optimism with his positive attitude, even-keeled nature, and infectious humor. No matter the situation, Leonard was able to create a sense of calm and ease for all those around him. Yaakov's selfless dedication to family is evident in a poignant moment of potential conflict with his father-in-law, where his singular plea is for the safety for his wives and children. Leonard, too, displayed an unwavering devotion to his wife, children, and grandchildren, radiating familial strength similar to Yaakov. His love, enduring beyond the constraints of time and circumstance, manifested in efforts to understand and bond with his sons, embracing their unique passions in politics, museums, sports, Torah learning, and more. From the beginning to the very end, Leonard's sons treasured the relationship they had with their father. But Yaakov's desire was not only to love his sons, but to foster unity and strength among them for the future of his people. Leonard, too, invested and nurtured the bonds between his sons, helping create their lifelong bonds. Yet Leonard's generosity and love for family extended beyond the immediate sea, embracing his nephews, cousins, and really any Jew with whom he crossed paths. Leonard's life was a showcase to the timeless value of the importance of nurturing the unbreakable unity that we share as a people. At a time such as this, when we as a people continue to face so many threats from the outside, we need to follow in the footsteps of Leonard, focusing on that which unites us and brings us together, and not that which divides. It is an impossible task to sum up over 90 years of a beautiful life in just a few minutes. But looking around at the family, both those who are here today and those who could not make it, it is clear of the timeless values that pulsated through Leonard's veins for more than 9 decades. His commitment to family, honesty, hard work, and the Jewish people have been passed down to his children and grandchildren, and are his living legacy that will continue to flourish for many years to come. And so even though we are here today in deep and bitter mourning, we know that Leonard's love and teachings will live on through his family, children, grandchildren, and anyone who had the chance to get to know him. We will continue with the burial in just a few moments. Just 2 things to point out. It is considered one of the greatest mitzvos to participate in helping bury a fellow Jew. However, it is a mitzvah that we do with a sense of somberness and reluctance, and therefore there are 2 practical ramifications. When we help provide some of the earth first thing we do is our initial shovel, we do it backhanded, not forward, and we do not pass the shovel to the next person. We put it into the ground in order to also, once again, showcase this complex situation and emotions that are currently taking place. So, everyone's invited to come forward.
And you can go for either side of the mound. Rabbi, if you could do it by the mic so the kids and family that's not in. Do it over the mic so the
Yeah.
family that's not in.
Okay. You come on? You want to do it?
No, you
I'll go.
another rock for me. Where's the cars?
They think Kaddish transliteration in the back of the Hebrew.
El Malay Rachamim, Shochen Bamiromim. Hamsei Menucha, Nochen Al Kanfei Hashchina, B'malos, Kedoshim Turim Ktokiyam Asirim, Es Yishmas, Libil Ben Moshe, Shalach Lamo, Bavor, Shanachis Allah Haskarash Yishmaso, Beganetim Menuchasho, Lachein, Balachim Yaser V'Sek Enof Avolim, Yitzur, B'Tzorchin Asish Maso, Adonai hu nachal laso, v'nochim shalom shkavo, v'nomar, amen. Yiskadal, Yiskadash, Shmei Rabbah, Shemad Echulasi V'Askadasa, L'chaya Mesaya, L'Saka, L'chaye Alma, L'Ibnei Kartaz Yerushalayim, V'Shachlei Hechla V'Gava, V'Makar Polchana Nechura, Me'ara L'Asava Polchana Nishmaya L'Asrei, Yamlich Kushavrechu B'Malchusei V'Karei, V'Chayecha
B'chol Beis Yisrael. Ba'Galav is my Kariv, Amru Amen.
Amen Yehei
Yeshmech, Rabba Me'orah, B'Me'amaya. Yisborach, Yishtabach, Yishba'ar, Yishba'man, Aseh, Yisadar, Yisaleh, Yisalal, Shveh, Dikshabrichu. Le'rami, Kaver Kasar, Shusar, Chanak Masar, Le'amiran, V'Ama, V'Amru Amen.
Amen.
Yeh Shlama Rabba Mishmaya, V'chaim Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, V'Amru Amen.
Amen.
Osei Shalom V'Roma, Huliyasei Shalom, Aleinu Kol Yisrael, V'Amru Amen.
Thank you for coming. Do you want to do Shura now, or do you want to do
Thank you for the gentleman that came to make a minion. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody.
Rabbi, you do a shore?